Hello friends, welcome back to Exploring Art. You know, in our time together, we either learn about a famous artist and his or her style of work, or we look at pieces of work and we try to create a work of our own inspired by that piece of work. Remember, you are the artist in your own experience, and our goal here is not to make a picture that looks just like somebody else's. It's just to use their work as inspiration as we create our own art project today. Our artist for today is Vincent van Gogh. Okay. Vincent van Gogh was born in 1853, and he was a Dutch artist, just like Mondrian. Remember, we talked about Mondrian and his geometrics earlier in this session. Van Gogh was one of the most famous and influential figures in the history of Western art. In approximately 10 years, he created around 2,100 pieces of art, and 860 of them, give or take, were oil paintings. Now, we're not going to use oil paints at here today. We're going to use tempera paints when we paint, but oil painting, they gave a different texture to the paintings, and we're going to find a way to create texture in our paintings even using tempera paints later today. He was a post-impressionist painter. He used striking colors and brushwork. With his brushwork is how he developed that texture and how things looked textured in his work. With contours, he wanted to bring love to the people through his art. He painted things like still lifes. This is one of his most famous paintings called Sunflowers. And landscape. And here's one of his paintings called Starry Night. And he also painted pictures of people. Okay, but today we're going to explore one of his most famous landscapes, the Starry Night. What colors do you see? I know when I look at this, I see blues and greens and blacks, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white. Do we see any bright colors like reds or orange, any of the warm colors? Just a little bit of yellow, right? Just a little bit. Can you see his heavy brush strokes? Can you see where he's painted and see the lines in his work where he's put layers and layers of oil paint in order to create this masterpiece? Yeah. So we're going to create our own painting today inspired by Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night. So what we're going to need today, in our supply list, we're going to need white paper. And if you have heavier paper today, a construction paper or a watercolor paper, even a piece of cardboard or poster board, something heavier than regular paper today. Your tempera paints, remember tempera paints are sometimes the one we have in little jars. We can shake them up. And then painting tools. In addition to our paint brushes, ask moms and dads if you can maybe have a Q-tip or a straw or find some sticks outside or a fork. And we're going to use these tools to create different textures in our painting today. So those are our supplies for today. Just so you know, at the library we can also find books about Vincent van Gogh, such as Vincent's Colors, Vincent Can't Sleep, and Vincent van Gogh and the Colors of the Wind. Are some really wonderful books about the artist Vincent van Gogh. All right, so let's take another look at this painting. And go ahead and gather your supplies. I have my messy tray right here. And on my messy tray, I have my paints I'm going to use today. I have my blue, and I have some white, and I have some yellow, and I have brown. I didn't have any black paint, so I'm going to use brown for my dark color, and a teal, which is kind of a mix of a blue and a green. Okay, and I'm going to get my piece of paper. There it is. I'm using a smaller piece of paper today because I had heavy watercolor paper. So I've got that. I'm going to set my tray down. And what we're going to do is use our paint brushes first. And we're going to paint across our paper using the colors in Starry Night. So I'm going to put my dark brown on the bottom. And I'm going to put some blues and yellows on the top. And then maybe some greens in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do. Remember, you are the artist. You don't have to do it my way. You can do it your own way. Okay, but I'm going to use my brown. Like I said, I didn't have black. If you have black at home, you could use black. You could use whatever colors you like. Remember, you are the artist. And I'm going to spread it across the bottom of my paper. And then I'm kind of going to do a swatch up towards the top, because if we look at the painting, you know, there's the shadows of the building here and the village down below. So I'm going to make a spot going up higher. Then I'm going to use, maybe I'll add some of the teal in there just to kind of show you what we're going to do with some of our tools. I'm going to brush some teal across the sky. Okay, so let me show you what I've done so far. Okay, now we're going to take our tools. I have a fork and I have a popsicle stick. And you're going to take them and you're going to scrape across or through the paint that you've painted on. And if you look carefully, you're making lines in your art very similar to the lines that we see where Vincent van Gogh's layering the paint. I'm going to add some white and some yellow into the center. I think more yellow than white. The white might be hard to see. And I'm going to use a Q-tip this time, right? And I'm going to draw it through in a circular motion. Right, you see how I've gone around and around? And the paints are starting to blend and layer on each other a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do one more color, and then I'm going to use my third tool. I think I'll use some blue now to kind of fill in around my other spaces. And I'm going to use my popsicle stick in the same way. And I'm going to maybe draw some lines here to represent the wind on the starry night. And maybe I'm going to put some more circles in the center. Okay, so do you see what I've done there? I've drawn some lines and scraped some of the paint away. I've got another one I did earlier you can look at. It's a little drier. It might be easier to see the texture and the suggestions of the circular motions he made with the lines on the top and the lines on the bottom using the Q-tip. So if we look at our picture of Van Gogh, his Starry Night, our work is inspired by Van Gogh. It doesn't look exactly like Van Gogh's, right? But you can get the suggestion of the lines and the wind and the layer of the paint. So go ahead and create your own impression of Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, created in your own way. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.